That water tastes so good.
It's especially good out of my cup. Hey everyone! For today's How to Be Happy January video, the first thing I have to say is whoa. I have to start off this video by addressing a couple points from my last video about my eating disorder. So in order to keep this thing a real conversation, before I hop into this video about my fitness routine, I'm going to address a couple things about that video. Okay, so first point, quite a few of you were asking about my plastic surgery, and some of you said that you didn't understand how I could preach self-acceptance and love, but have surgery on my body to change something. I can totally understand the confusion, and this is what I'm going to say to that. I do not regret having the surgery, but I'm not going to sit here and say that by having the surgery, it made my life so much better and fulfilling and just amazing all around. It's just something that I wanted. So as far as my hip, where I got the liposuction to even out my hips, that has been a pretty awesome change. It didn't give me like perfect hips in the sense of it like fully evening out the shape from the surgery, but it did make my hip sizes even. So it has made wearing clothing and clothing shopping so much easier. And as far as my boobs, unfortunately, I don't really have a philosophical deep answer for that either. I wanted bigger boobs, so I bought them. I definitely don't regret getting it, but it's definitely not something that I think about like on the daily as being this like huge enhancement to my life. I just have bigger boobs now. It kind of just is what it is. So if you're mad that I had surgery, that is totally your prerogative and that is fine. I am definitely not the sayer of like what is right and what is wrong or what you should think. But I had the surgery because I wanted it, so I got it, and that's really all there is to it. You guys, if I can make you one promise, it's that you are never going to agree with everything that I say, and that's because you're never gonna agree with anything anybody ever says. I had a coach named Dallas Travers, and she would say, eat the fish and spit out the bones. This is just my story. Take what you want from it, take what inspires you, and leave the rest.
I am not perfect.
In fact, I am a mess, but I'm learning and I'm trying, and I just want to share my story and my journey and my life with you guys. Alrighty, now that we've had a chance to chat, I want to hop into my fitness routine. This week for How to Be Happy January, the theme is physical week. So I felt like opening up the week with my fitness routine was the perfect way to hop into this week's theme. Now, staying active has always been a huge part of my life. I think that either staying active by doing something that you love or staying active by attaching an emotional goal to it is so important to your overall well-being and happiness. Because think about it, if you love the activity that you are doing to stay active, you're not only adding joy to your life because you're now doing something that you love to do, but also just by being active, you are now dealing with stress in a healthy way, getting your blood pumping through your body so you can better deliver nutrients to your organs, excreting toxins through your sweat, plus you are creating endorphins, which literally make you happy. And if you can't find any physical activity that you love, but you at least can find one that you can tolerate, and then you can attach an emotional goal to it, for example, wanting to be a healthy and active mommy for your kids one day, you will still have all of those other benefits because you will still reap the physical benefits of staying active, which I think severely affects your levels of happiness. We have one body and it can't be replaced. Think of it as like a car. If you had one car for the rest of your life, you wouldn't just be like, oh, whatever, I can just like throw the trash on the floor. Oh, whatever, I'll just get the oil changed whenever. You have one car. You wouldn't do that because the cumulative effect of 10, 15, 20 years, heck, even just 1 year of not washing your car or not changing the oil would add up. The car wouldn't have a very long lifespan, or if it did, you definitely wouldn't enjoy the rides in the car when you're going places. It would be smelly and nasty and not very pleasant. Think of your body as a car, except you can't just choose to like not take the car and maybe use like public transit or take an Uber places. You are literally stuck with this car all day, every day. It's your body. You can't leave it, you can't trade it in, and you can't get a new one. And that is the reason why I think that physical activity and just physical well-being plays so much in to your happiness levels. Alrighty, now that being said, I have changed my personal physical fitness routine many times over the course of my life, and I think that that is okay. As long as you are staying active in some kind of way and always trying to take care of your amazingly intelligent temple that you've been given, then that is what matters. So, you're probably wondering now, what is my fitness routine? I should probably stop blabbering and hop right in. I can tell you one thing, it is definitely not running. Ugh, I hate running. All right, let's do this. Number 1, sleep. While you may not think that this is exactly part of a fitness routine, it most definitely is. Sleep is so crucial to our mental health and our physical well-being. It's not only the only time that your body takes to heal and process all of the activity that you've done for the day, but it's also extremely important for the functioning of your brain, which in turn is obviously important to the functioning of your body, which can overall hugely affect your overall happiness level. I actually watched a TED Talk on the importance of sleep, which I will link down below. So if you want to watch the whole talk and kind of go in depth on this topic, feel free. It is an awesome talk. But the basic summary of the video is as follows. Scientists have wondered for a long time how the brain excretes toxins. So the rest of our body, as well as our brain, makes toxins throughout the day. But the rest of our body and all of our major organs have a lymphatic draining system. The brain does not. You probably already know where this is going. Scientists actually found that when we are sleeping, and only when we are sleeping, our brain actually releases a chemical that, I can't remember if it absorbs it or it neutralizes the toxins that your brain has created throughout the day. Without sleep, the toxins have nowhere to go. And they have found that if the brain does not rid itself of these toxins, degenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's can be brought on from that. So they're not saying that literally if you don't sleep you will have these diseases, but they have found that that is definitely a precursor to these degenerative diseases. That was a mouthful. That being said, I personally strive for at least 7 hours of sleep a night, and that's the minimum. Really, on average, I try to strive for at least 8 to 9 hours of sleep per night. Now, you might be saying that's nice, but I can't do that, I'm really busy. But I literally plan my days accordingly. I plan the following day and the night before to make sure that I can get 8 to 9 hours of sleep. It's so important. And I literally do everything I can to protect my sleeping time. All right, now if you have a hard time sleeping at night, I'm gonna give you a couple tips to help you fall asleep. First one, try doing some meditative yoga or stretching. If you go on YouTube, right up here to the search bar, and you search Yoga Nidra, I rest, then there are so many meditative, voice-guided, relaxation technique videos, long mouthful, for you to find. I actually have a personal favorite video that I've watched multiple times when I'm trying to unwind at night, so I will also link that down below. But that's definitely worth a try if you are having a hard time falling asleep. Number 2, take a warm bath or a shower and think about all of the things that you love to think about that have nothing to do with work or school. For me, that is all things food. I can spend a lot of time thinking about what my next meal is gonna be, or browsing Pinterest and picturing what I could cook the following day. It's so relaxing for me to think about food because I love it so much and it just seems, I don't know, relaxing and nourishing. Number 3, try praying or listening to podcasts and cast your cares upon the Lord. There is so much that goes on during the day, and at night there's nothing you can do about it. It's time to sleep. It's time to restore and rest your body. Try praying and just letting it all out. In my opinion, I think that God wants a relationship with you. So if you're stressed or you're angry or you're sad or you're just dealing with a lot, tell it to God. So when they say, oh, cast your, what did I say? Your worries upon the Lord. Literally tell it to him. I feel like I've gone through phases where I forget that I can tell that stuff to God. Also, try telling him what you're thankful for. Studies have found that people who have a thankful spirit, a grateful spirit, tend to be the healthiest people. All right, so moving on to my fitness routine. Yoga and stretching, kind of in line, like the same thing. At this time in my life, my main form of exercising is yoga. Now, if you had told me even a year ago that this would be the case, I would have called you crazy. I was always super anti-yoga because it felt uncomfortable, like not in a good way. Plus, I wanted to exercise in a way that felt more intense and fun. Well, about 4 to 5 months ago, I had a couple things happen to me that completely changed my view about yoga. First thing is, I actually watched a video on Marie Forleo's YouTube channel, and she was interviewing a woman, I believe with cerebral palsy. And in the video, she talked about trying many different forms of exercise and how nothing had transformed her and changed her life in the way that yoga had. She is now able physically to do basic things she couldn't do before because of yoga. The other thing that happened was I was actually at the Tone It Up retreat last year, which by the way was
amazing.
And my mom and I actually ended up speaking to a guy at the event, really random. He was actually the waiter at the restaurant in the hotel, and he had actually suffered from extreme back pain almost his entire life. He had done physical therapy, he was extremely active, he was a registered dietitian or nutritionist, so he was obviously eating well. But when he started yoga 10 months earlier, his entire life changed. He no longer suffers from the excruciating back pain he had been dealing with most of his life. Amazing! It's crazy, huh? Well, he also ended up informing me of another thing that completely changed my mind on yoga. He told me that when you do yoga and you feel uncomfortable and it's almost painful and you get in these positions that are like really hard to breathe in, that is how yoga is supposed to feel. The twists that you get into literally take your organs and they wring them out like a sponge, which is why you sweat so much doing yoga. I personally have never sweat more doing any other physical activity in my entire life. Kickboxing, cycling and spin classes, Pilates, cardio bar, step classes, lifting weights. I'm telling you, I have never sweat more doing anything like I have doing yoga. He said that the uncomfortable feeling that you feel is different from any other exercise, but that breathing through it is part of the struggle and the challenge. Okay, so after that weekend, I decided to take yoga. So I have now been doing yoga for almost 4 months, anywhere from 1 to 4 times a week. I would say really the average is like 2 to 3 times a week, but some weeks I've taken it only once, sometimes I've taken it up to 4 times in a week. And it really has changed my life. It is so difficult, yet so relaxing all at the same time. Yoga really focuses on the alignment of your body and detoxification, as well as on the mental aspects of staying calm and focusing on deep breathing, which according to studies that I've read, most of us aren't even really conscious of our breath on a daily basis or making sure to take deep breaths, which is really unfortunate because they've actually found that deep, long breaths are extremely nourishing and healing to the body. So if you are looking for a new physical fitness routine for 2015, I highly recommend checking out yoga. If you don't know where to start, like you don't have a yoga studio in your town or you can't afford to go take yoga classes, I highly suggest checking online. Yoga with Adriene, who I will link down below, is someone that I really like. I've done a few of her videos, and also I'm pretty sure that Tone It Up and Blogilates do some yoga in their workouts as well. But Yoga with Adriene is just purely yoga. Besides, there's something really fun about spreading your yoga mat out at home, lighting a candle, and then just doing a yoga class in the comfort of your own home. It's very nice, guys. Okay, number 3, walking. Other than yoga, walking is another way that I stay like physically active and fit. Dan knows that sunset walks are like my favorite thing on the planet. For some reason, no matter what has gone on in my day, if I can stop and go outside and take a walk during sunset, everything feels all right in the world. It truly is my happiest place, next to the shower that is. And I just really love walking for so many reasons. It gets me outside in the fresh air and it gets me moving. 2, Dan and I often have our best talks and feel most connected when we're out taking walks together. We're just admiring nature together, no distractions, and it's really fun. And the 3rd thing is, if I'm walking by myself, which I will admit doesn't happen as much since we moved, but if I am walking by myself, I'll listen to podcasts or music, and it's just really great alone time to get some exercise and reflect and be in nature. It just makes me feel really centered. I never thought that I would be such a walking fanatic, not a running fanatic. It you don't want to run. But I never thought I'd be such a walking fanatic, but I am. All right, guys, so that is it for today's How to Be Happy January series. If you are just joining the series and you want to watch last week's theme, which was Reflection Week, I will link the playlist down below because I'm adding all these videos into the 2015 How to Be Happy January playlist. So if you want to go check those out, those will be linked down there. Also, if you want to join the conversation on other platforms, feel free to jump right in. You just use the hashtag How to Be Happy January on Twitter or Instagram. I love scrolling through the hashtags and seeing what you guys have submitted. Your favorite quotes, photos of things that make you happy, articles, videos you're sharing. I just love seeing it all. The other thing is, if you're having a hard time and you just kind of want to put that out there and you want encouragement or you want someone to pray for you, I think that that would be a really cool use of the hashtag too. Finding a prayer buddy via a hashtag. All right, so if you have any questions, comments, concerns, all of that, feel free to leave that in the comments because as usual, I will be trolling the comment section. And lastly, if you have made it this far, shh, there's a secret giveaway all the way at the bottom of the info box. So I feel like you should just know that just for making it all the way to the end. I do this sometimes, I throw them in at the end. So yeah, I love you guys and I will be back with another new How to Be Happy January video on Friday. Until then, brothers and sisters, I don't know what that was. Goodbye. I don't know. Bye guys. I'm going to get Chipotle now. Shh.